Hey coaches, welcome back to the C2C podcast. In this episode, I want to talk about committing to the transition. And this comes off of an email and a request that I had. I get requests all of the time, both from the Hormone Helper podcast and, believe it or not, from the Coach to Coach website. Even though the website is clearly stated business coaching, it seems that I am fairly known for hormone coaching. So I keep getting requests for people asking, hey, look, can you help coach me on my hormones and help me balance my hormones naturally? Now, of course, on the outside, it would be very easy for me to say yes and for me to take those clients. I could effectively take the application. I could take the fact that someone has already registered through an old self sign-up link and they're like, hey, look, I actually want to join you. Here's all my credit card details. Let's get started. And I can take on another person. However, we're talking about committing to the transition inside of today's episode because guess what? I've transitioned into business coaching. And I think sometimes when we're looking inside of our business, whether it's we're looking from transitioning from one-on-one into more group programs, maybe we're looking to transition from in-person to online, maybe you're looking to transition your very large small ticket program group into like a very high intimate container, these transitions then come up with like, well, I keep getting clients who are interested in this stuff before, and I can just keep taking them on. And sure, yeah, you can do that. You can say yes to the person who's paid you 2 or 3 years in a row one-on-one, no problem. Sure, you can go to the person who's already got their credit card down and they want to work with you with an old method and you're like, well, I don't really want to rock the boat and it's money and they seem like good people. So of course, why not take them in that moment and why not work with them as a client? Here's the thing with that though. When we talk about committing to the transition, this is where we start to look at the newer identity of who we are as a coach and as a person. And we also start to look at the new goals we've set in our business. And this actually harms us as business owners. I will say it took me 6 months too long to make the decision from transitioning from hormone coach into business coach. I knew that I wanted to make this transition, but I kept on having this irrational fear. Well, like, what if I can't fill the spots as easy? What if I'm not going to be able to find this many clients? I'm wondering whether or not this is the right move. Am I in fact the person to do this? And all of these things kept coming up within me, which is why I kept doing the same thing, which was taking on more clients in capacities that I already knew. Maybe right now your one-on-one is all that you know and you're saying to yourself, I'm really good at it. I'm making good money at it. And although you're full and it's not perfect and you'd like more money, it's also not bad. So you're saying to yourself, well, I can take on this person in the moment. And this is where whenever we declare something, whether we are declaring a higher state of being or we are declaring a higher intention for our business, we are going to be met inside of our life with the opposite. All of the things that are preventing us from getting to that higher level will be put right in front of us, kind of like being handed on a platter. And it's like, hey, now you have to deal with this. And this is why these clients and these offers and these old opportunities with old energy attachments keep appearing inside of your business. This isn't trickery. It's not something that's supposed to fool you or you have to then make a hard decision. No, there's actually no right or wrong decision with this. The thing though is your ability to commit to the actual choice, your ability to say yes when it makes sense, to say no when it makes sense, and the ability of discernment. So going back to this example, I had someone reach out. They'd attempted to register with an old self-sign-up registry link, and they're like, hey, I would love to do hormone coaching with you. And they filled out an application on our business coaching page. Of course, I don't do hormone coaching anymore. And a large part of making that declaration, not taking on any more health clients, was me saying to myself, my new identity of being a business coach is more valuable to me than monetary or the value that I'm going to get from that client. There are different forms of energy which you have to assess at different levels of value as you grow your business. And guess what? Money is not the only form that you have to assess your business by. There are tons of practitioners who make damn good money, but they're so full, they lose the energy in the other areas. They're losing energy because they have no time. They're losing capacity because their brain is always on. They're losing fulfillment because they're regurgitating the same thing over and over again, and they don't really feel stimulated. They're losing a sense of passion and purpose because they're caught in the delivery and they can't really separate themselves from the business. All of these things are energetic currencies that are also required to continue to build your business. And these are also the things that you're going to want to be able to take back as you grow your business. So when I was looking towards my business and I see these things come in, and these things come in fairly regularly, they are old reminders of old energies of ways that I used to operate. I used to operate in the hormone coaching realm. I could take on that familiarity. It would be very easy for me to work with this client. The money is very good, but ultimately, it's going to detract from my capacity towards being a better business coach, my energy and my fulfillment, because now I feel incredibly fulfilled servicing and helping you guys as practitioners, and also my time, because guess what? If I'm spending time with this client, it's not going to be time working with the people that I want to be working with. So in the short term, it is an easy way to do that. It's an easy way for you to stay the same, for you to feel the same level of stuck by doing what you know. This is where I want to talk about committing to the transition. It is simply more than a decision and you saying to yourself, I just have to be more disciplined. Like if I'm trying to fill a group program, I need to fill it with discipline. I can't take on any more one-on-one people. No, it's actually not discipline that's going to allow you to make this transition inside of your business. What it is understanding that when you are making that change, you are claiming a new identity and you have to destroy your old identity. Think about this like versions in a computer. When we have version 1 and we're going to make version 2, we can't keep version 1 running because both of the operating systems are going to fight between each other. There's not enough CPU computer. I'm not a computer guy, clearly, but there's not enough usage or memory, there you go. There's not enough memory inside of this computer for it to actually run both operating systems. You're going to have to destroy one, and then you're going to have to allow the other to take over. Now, this doesn't mean that we can't keep features we like from the first version. No. As an example, I love working one-on-one with professionals, and so I'm working one-on-one with people in business. That didn't change. I love the way that my systems operated. I have my team that's running in a really great spot. All of that is stuff that I took over. However, there are things that I told myself I'm energetically no longer in alignment with. This is where I say to myself, I like business more than I like doing the health portion. So if I take on another health person, that actually compromises me taking on another business person. If I want to continue to grow and build this to serve even more business coaches and help even more practitioners, in order for me to make that transition and change, it means that I have to say no to the old way that I used to operate. And I share this with you guys today before I go into like how you can fully commit to decisions like this. I share this because a lot of coaches and practitioners have this fear. They have the fear that maybe you don't feel confident in replacing your income. And you're saying to yourself, I know how to make that type of income working one-on-one, doing the programs as I have been, working with the clients as I have been, but I'm having a hard time having confidence in myself to say that I can replace my income with this new program. Or maybe you're saying to yourself, you know what? I say that I want this group program, but the fear is like, what if I go and I run it and I actually don't like it? And then I said no to all of these one-on-one people, or I've said no to this old way of doing business, when in reality, I'm going to go up to it. Doing that is recognizing that this fear is what is holding you back from seeing the results that you are actually looking for. Fear is what is keeping you stuck. Fear is what prevented me from transitioning for 6 months when I knew the entirety of the 6 months that this was going to be the best decision for me. And I can tell you something, it compromised my business from a health perspective because I was taking on less clients because I wasn't energetically aligned. And it compromised the potential business that I was going to build because I wasn't spending time actually building the business that I wanted to be building. And this is where you have to really ask yourself, this comes down now to how do we fully commit to transitions in our business? When we declare something, the act of committing is first recognizing what you are declaring. You have to have awareness as to what your goals are inside of your business. If I'm declaring that I want more time freedom from my schedule and I want to be a business CEO, and you're saying to yourself, that means I have to change my business model. It means I have to go from working one-on-one with people or working where I'm spending large amounts of time on calls to shorten that. You have to be energetically okay with that change, knowing that this new version of yourself is moving towards what you want, which is time freedom. That's just an example. The act of fully committing to this, to me, is saying no to the things that don't serve you, saying yes to what is actually going to serve you long term, so that way you can continue to scale far beyond your wildest dreams. But the only way that you can do this is, first, you have to recognize what in fact do you want. Sometimes when we are making decisions and we're making these pivots, we don't actually know what we want. For the longest time, I didn't really know if I wanted to be a business coach. I didn't know if I was the guy. I didn't know if this should be something that I should take on in addition to building the business, or if I should just transition away and then become a business coach. And because I wasn't certain, because I did not know what I wanted to do, I spent a lot of time in the land of hesitation, which is what happens with you guys as practitioners. You're not truly sure if you want the group program. You're not truly sure if you want to be that coach who's running the one-on-one mastermind. You're not truly sure if you want to have 10 or 15 self-paced programs on your website as well as working with people because you really love working with people. And that lack of clarity is preventing you from cementing that and from transitioning into your identity. So first, it's lack of clarity. That prevents you from making that transition and committing to the transition. The second thing that prevents you from committing to the transition is that you're not getting upfront results. You see, you know how to deliver results in the old way you've been running your business, and you know that those results can come very easy because you understand all the steps now, and maybe you don't understand the steps now. Maybe you're saying to yourself, I know I want to make this change, but I actually don't know how to start a self-paced program. I actually don't know how to transition from one-on-one to group. I'm actually not quite sure how I'm going to be able to provide the accountability without being in front of somebody. And oftentimes when we don't know the how, when we fully envision step by step what we're going to do inside of our business, we don't move. And this is where we have changed identities already. We've decided this is who we want to become, but then we freeze. We freeze because we can't vision the next step in front of us. And this is where I have to tell you, guess what? You don't need to know all of the how. You just need to say, what is the next foothold that I need to do? What is the next step that I need to take? Maybe it's I need to approach a coach. I need to approach a coach who does this every single day, who's in it, who's doing self-paced programs, who's running group offers, who's positioned themselves online. I need to find an expert. Maybe that's the first step. Or maybe the first step is, well, first, I just need to package my curriculum. I need to put together what I'm actually going to give people, and then I need to create a self-sign-up link for them to actually get the offer. And then I need to promote the offer. We do it step by step. And I'll tell you, it's always, what am I going to sell? Promotion, fill it, then create it. That's the steps in a raw format, and you can do that for every single offer or for every single new program or new service, regardless of what type of practice or health business you're running. Now, there is a third part that prevents you from the full committal. So we talk about this lack of clarity. We talk about, of course, the being uncertain of the steps. The third piece is trust. And I've spoken this a few times on the podcast, but not in this way. There are 4 levels of trust. The first is you have to trust yourself. You have to fully believe that you are capable of making this change and that is going to work. Most of us don't have a hard time trusting ourselves. The second is we have to trust others. And by trusting others, we have to trust that the clients that we're working towards to fill these programs are going to in fact be interested in this program. We have to trust our team in making these new changes so when we put this new program in or this new service, it is going to work. We have to trust life, that our marketing, the promotions and the materials we put out there and the emails we put out there are going to make its way to the right people, because guess what? You can't control the algorithms. And then you have to trust source. You've got to trust that God, that source energy, whatever you want to put towards it, is working towards leading you to the best life possible, which involves this new change in identity. Most of us are missing an aspect of trust inside of our business. Either we're not trusting our employees to fulfill, either we don't trust ourselves to be able to deliver this new service because we simply haven't before, or we're trying to manipulate every single part that's going into our business because we don't really trust life or our environment that it's actually working out for us. And this is where you've identified as this new change. You want to then take this new step into your business, but then you're trying to over control it. You're obsessing over every email. You're obsessing over the landing page and how it looks with all of the lines. You're obsessing over the curriculum and how they're going to click each and every button to go through, when in reality, none of that actually matters. What matters is that you put the freaking offer out there and you fill it. And I say all of this directly telling you that these were the exact things that I struggled with making the transition. And I will tell you, it does not get easier. You will continue to change your identities and put new things into your business. Your business is going to continue to grow, and the definition of success for you will continue to change. My definition as a practitioner is I wanted to fill my time. Once I filled my time, I said, holy cow, now I want my time back. And then after I wanted my time back, I said, I actually like talking about business more than I like talking about health. And so I want to help these practitioners do the same thing. So as I continued to grow, my business had to change to follow me to reflect that level of growth. But I had to be okay with that. I had to be okay with the change. I had to trust that my clients and the people following me and the team working with me actually were on par and were on board with that change. And guess what? They are. They are fully on board with that. But going through it for me was very scary. And sometimes when we are afraid, it's easier for us to do what we know, take on the one-on-one client who's been with us for 2 or 3 years and sign them on for a 4th year, because that's simple. I don't have to think. Take that group program, and after the 12 months, it just goes to a month-to-month, but they continuously reoccur because I don't have to worry about selling them into the offer I want to sell them. That's simple. Anybody can do that. Anyone can keep going with the one-on-one assessments, the one-on-one adjustments, and just status quo. Nothing changes. But really, what I recognized is things actually do change. They just change in smaller amounts. So what I was finding was, as I went from month to month to month, not making the change in a business coach, I was becoming more and more frustrated with my clients. I was becoming less and less fulfilled through the process. I was becoming more and more overwhelmed. Like these people took more energy from me than they did give back to me. And that's when I realized, oh wow, it is costing me more than just money. The money will always come. Here's the best part about the energies, about capacity, about fulfillment, about love, about money. They come with each other. When you feel more fulfilled, you're more fired up to deliver, you're more fired up to promote, and when you promote more, you sell more. And when you sell more, you fill more spots, and when you fill more spots, you make more money. So it is all connected. And whenever you are fearing that you are lacking in one, it's normally because you're actually not fulfilling the others. The reason why your business is stagnant right now is largely because you've made a decision to make a change in your business, but you haven't fully committed to it. You're hesitating on that line, and what you're experiencing is what I experienced, which is a duality of identities. And both identities are not wrong. It is who you were in the past and who you are in the future. And the reality is you have to decide. It took me 6 months to decide. Now I make those decisions significantly easier. So now when I saw this email come in like, hey, I'd love to work with you for hormone coaching, I said I don't do that anymore. Simple. text message back, I don't do this anymore. I don't know how you found the link. Amazing that you found this link because I'll take it down, but I don't do that anymore. So what are you not fully committing to? What are you already deciding but not taking action on? What are you hesitating to implement because you feel you don't know the next step? What are you not trusting? These are actually the things that are preventing you from growing your business. It's not another offer. It's not finding more clients. It's not getting more leads. And a great mentor of mine shared this with me recently. Whenever we're looking to make a transition in our business, we're looking to grow to the next level. That level of growth will not appear until all of the conditions are met for us to be ready for that level of growth. So what I mean by that is this. Say you're going to be a guitar player. You love the guitar. And your dream is to play at Madison Square Garden. Cool. So you're going to go and you're going to practice for a month, and you've never picked up the guitar before, and you practice for a month and you're trying to sing notes and you're learning how to sing and how to play guitar at the same time. And then little less than a month, maybe 3 weeks in, all of a sudden I throw you the stage at Madison Square Garden. You stand in front of 20,000 people and you bomb it. You bomb it because you don't have any guitar experience. You bomb it because you haven't practiced singing. You actually don't know how to write a song. There's more pieces to it than you recognized. And now, because you bombed it in a really big way and you destroyed the opportunity when it came to you, you actually never pick up the guitar again. That's actually what's happening in your business. Most of us want these opportunities for growth. You want to go 30K months. You want to go 60K months. You want to make that pivot online. You want to take on that new group program. You want to transition away from one-on-one. You want to work only 15 hours a week in your schedule. And you want that now, but you actually haven't done the work to change the identity. So when you do get it, you keep it. And that's the whole purpose of actually getting these things. There's no point in getting 1 month inside of your business and then the rest of the months are 30K because you can't sustain it. You're going to be so frustrated and mad about that than you are if you saw a steady growth and incline of the months, and then when you hit 100K a month, you kept it. Just like when it comes to launching a group program, you're going to launch this group once and the group is going to stay. You don't want to launch a group, all of a sudden 50 people join and then the group falls apart and collapses, and then you go, I'm never going to run a group again, and no one joins another group program of yours because it was a huge flop. You want to be able to make sure that your identity is fully changed, that you're the person capable of doing that, and that all of your systems and processes have changed as well to make sure that when you do that, the group is fire and people continue to join and people continue to sign up. But this is where you need to fully commit. Being a committal person is, I would say, it's 1 part's grace, 1 part's discipline, and 1 part's breathing and observe. There are times where sometimes we're taking a lot of struggled action in our business where we actually need to, like if you're a left brainer, and hello, I'm a chronic left brainer. So hello, welcome to the Left Brainers Club. If you're a left brainer and you're like, I'm always doing, and I've been doing the same thing for 4 months, but I haven't generated a result, you're doing too much do. In which case you got to take your foot off the pedal, you got to give yourself some grace and actually really spend time with the clarity piece. What do you actually want in your business before you take action on something? So to the people who are chronic left brainers who are always doing, you need to give yourself some grace and you need to establish clarity. For those of you who have been on the cliff and you're like, I've declared I want this, I want the group program, I want to go online, I want to run the self-paced program, but I'm like on this limbo land, you need to give yourself discipline. The longer you stand on the ledge of fear, the more your ego will root up into you and give you all of these irrational responses as to why now's not the right time. The faster you jump from that, the faster you make that transition is going to be the best for you, and that takes discipline. And I can tell you, most of the coaches that I've spoken to, not even worked with, spoken to, most of them, whenever they struggle with discipline and they struggle to take action on something, it's usually because they have a hard time trusting themselves. Maybe you said you'd send like 100 emails and you only sent 20, that's broken trust. Maybe you said to yourself, I'm going to make a call to a new client every single day for the next 7 days, and you do it for the first 2 and you stop. That's breaking trust. When you set commitments and agreements with yourself and your business, and then you actually don't follow through on those commitments, you are eroding trust with yourself. And so if you are afraid to take action on something and you're hovering on that edge, you're hovering on the line, it's normally because the actions you've taken in the past you haven't fully followed through with. And so this is where you need to, instead of giving yourself grace, discipline, but small levels. What's the next step? Don't focus on what am I going to do and triple and how do I get up to 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000. What is the next step for me? Do it, celebrate yourself, and rebuild trust again. Rebuilding trust means that you have to do it on very small levels. Keeping promises to yourself, putting something in a calendar, and if you put it in at 2 p.m., it gets done at 2 p.m. It's that small where trust erodes. But this all comes back down to the aspect of clarity. What do you actually want? Some of us don't know what we want, or some of us say we want growth in our business, but we actually don't know why. Maybe because we want growth in our business because we feel like we don't have it. Well, that's not a great thing. I'm trying to get growth because I feel like I lack growth. That's kind of shitty. Versus, the way that I approach growth now is I have everything I need in this moment. I have all the money I need. I have all the time I need. I have all the capacity I need. I'm completely fulfilled. I don't need another client at all. My business is growing without me doing anything. So if I was going to do one thing, how could I create? How could I provide? How could I fulfill in a way that's going to light me up, fill my cup, serve my client? That will make me money. That will grow my business. And that's just the way that I approach it. So as I wrap this up, it's about recognizing where inside of your business have you energetically committed to being a new person. Whatever that looks like, if you don't know how, work with a mentor, work with a coach. That's why I work one-on-one with people, because it's very important that they understand what the next steps are to them, and then they take those steps. Sometimes the best way to fast track is to have a game plan and a mentor by your side where they're walking the mountain alongside you. So that way it's super simple. And you have confidence because they've done it before. They've tried all of the options. They know what works. They know what doesn't. And they're going to find the way that's going to be best for you. Maybe that's your next step. If it is, cool. You can always book a discovery call with us. Just go to growmycoaching.com. It's that easy. But if your next step is, okay, well, maybe I actually need to reestablish trust with myself. I need to actually get some clarity on what my goals are. Awesome. Then do that today. Don't wait tomorrow. Don't wait another 2 weeks for this to go by. Don't say yes to more clients or old programs or take on old energy, because you're going to have to clear that up again. You don't want to do all of this work and then have to then go back and clean up all of the things you said yes to. If your capacity feels like it's at its end, if your fulfillment feels like I'm hesitating between feeling fulfilled and not feeling fulfilled, if you're not fully loving what you're doing, and if you're not happy with the money you're making, you have to change something. That's it. You can't stay where you are, because staying where you are is agreeing to the old. You have to move to the new. Now, I will say this before we end. You can absolutely stay with the old. It's not wrong. If you want to be a business owner and you say to yourself, actually, I don't want those new programs. Actually, I'm comfortable trading my time for money. Just be okay with it. That's fine. But don't feel a lack from it. Don't feel like you're missing something. Don't feel like it's bad for you. Either commit fully to where you are, or commit to the new identity that you've declared. There is no in-between, and the longer you stay in the in-between land, you will be pushed from one side to the other. That's where the pressure comes from. Thanks, guys, for watching another episode of C2C. And remember, if you are watching these episodes and you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel, because I'm on videos every single week helping you guys continue to grow your business. I would appreciate the support, so I know that, of course, people are continuing to receive value from this. Drop comments maybe on things that you've taken away from the video, and also maybe things that you would want me to film videos about, because the more I understand how to help you guys, the more I can help you make these decisions. Instead of you staying in this in-between land, you can actually continue to grow. So thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye for now.